So the question really is, are you living your life like you want to get out of it? Or are you living your life like you want to love it? Hey guys, John here. I am very excited to talk to you this morning. It's a Sunday morning and it's actually very warm outside. And I tried to shoot out in the back deck, but it was so bright that it just didn't look good. So I came into the studio to talk to you guys today. I'll probably shoot something later this afternoon if I'm not off doing something with my son. But I wanted to jump on because I just recently did a video on Eckhart Tolle. And somebody made a comment that I wanted to make sure I clarified. They disagreed that I said that he was battling the ego. Yes, he absolutely correct. He does not use the word battle. He does use it as something you have to dissolve. And so it is something you have to overcome, is the ego. But ego only means self-awareness. And to me, I find even the concept of trying to overcome your self-awareness to be completely antithetical to living a loving life. Because in reality, when you let go of self, you let go of conscious choices. And when you let go of conscious choices, you let go of the ability to create your world. And the Bible says, whatever you ask is given, right? Whatever you ask in God's name is given if you have faith. And, when you pray, believe you shall receive and you shall, right? All of these statements are very much conscious choices. And to make a conscious choice means you must be aware of self. And the concept of dissolving your ego, to me, is less about spiritual awakening and more about releasing yourself from the physical world. The question you have to ask yourself is, did you come here to live life or did you come here to escape life? And that is a big spiritual topic right now because many people don't want to stay here. They come down here, they have bad experiences, and they want to leave here. And rather than stepping into the idea of changing here and being loving and being caring, bringing heaven to earth. And I find that a lot of the spiritual teachers are all talking about transcending the ego or overcoming the ego or dissolving the ego. And when you come to that aspect, you're dissolving your awareness of self. But, even in Hinduism, we are the Sit-Sat-Ki, the individual sparks of consciousness within. So if we are the individual sparks of consciousness, we have to be aware of ourselves to have that individuality. There's an old Hindu guru who said, the drop dropped its name and became the ocean. And that's literally forgetting who you are and going back to just being water. And I think we're here to experience. I think we're here to live a loving life and create a loving life and bring the kingdom of heaven to earth and to joyfully live. And if I'm living my life trying to get rid of my self-awareness and trying to get rid of my connection to the physical world, then I'm kind of missing the point of being here. Are we here to escape here or are we here to live here joyfully? And if you're just here to escape, I'm going to say that you're not here in search of an awakening. You're here and you're trying to get out of here because of the fearful response to here. You don't like it here. And so when I look at this idea of dissolving the ego or overcoming the ego or even battling the ego, which Eckhart Tolle didn't use that word, but he did use the word dissolve, and he does speak of the ego as something to overcome. And you go back to the oneness of self and it dissolves away, right? But I joyfully like making conscious choices. I joyfully like loving my fellow man, woman, and child. I joyfully like going into the grocery store and smiling at people. Those are conscious choices, and I'm very aware of those choices. And because of those conscious choices, I am surrounded by a loving world, and I live in a loving world. And I know that when I leave this loving world, I'm going back to an even more loving place on the other side. But I'm not spending my entire experience of life trying to get out of here. I'm not spending my entire experience of life trying to become enlightened or evolve into something that is, better than here. I'm spending my life making here the best it possibly can be and creating my heaven on earth here. And I totally believe that is the purpose of being here. is coming down here and overcoming our fears and anxieties and experiencing, bringing love back into ourselves. And I think the people who become the most loving and caring people are the ones who understand that being here is much more fun. I've been out of body, I've done astral travel, I haven't done those things in years. And why not? Because they're not nearly as fun. They're cool. They're an interesting oddity to go do. But all they do is tell you that you are conscious and you are available to do those things, which means you're aware of self. And to be aware of self means that you have what scientists would call an ego. And I say that very specifically because even the concept of ego is theory. But in reality, God speaks to us in feelings, not thinkings. And just to get into the headspace of overcoming the ego is feeling bad about being here. Feeling bad about being your individual self, feeling bad about it. And in reality of it is if you make the world loving, the ego is not a part of the process in the regard of the struggle that we have with ego. I'm very aware of myself. I'm very aware of what I do, and I'm very aware of, making a lot of videos, right? I'm very aware of what I'm doing, and I'm very happy of what I do because I choose to do things that I love, and I choose to do things that I'm passionate about, and I choose to do things to create a loving world, and those are conscious choices. And I can make those choices because I'm aware of myself. The key to ego really is about balance, being in balance with yourself, loving yourself equally as you love others. Narcissists love themselves more than they love others, and empaths love everybody else instead of themselves. And in reality, it comes back to being balanced and realizing if you are one with everything, there is no part of God that is less than any other. And when you spend your life fighting against breaking past your self-awareness, I think you're missing the point of being here. It's a matter of being here, being fully self-aware, but choosing to create love, choosing to create joy, choosing to create a world that's surrounded by loving compassion. Dalai Lama says, my religion is simple, my religion is kindness, right? And when you look at it from that aspect, it's beautiful. The Prophet Muhammad, he who knows not kindness has no faith, right? Joshua, love one another. It doesn't, in any one of those three statements there, say, get rid of yourself. And to me, this whole concept of ego, it comes up in so many comments on the videos. People are saying, well, the egoic this and the ego that, and let go of the concept of ego. If you want to let go of something, let go of that. Let go of the concept of ego and simply choose to be loving. Simply go out in the world and express to the world how beautiful they are and how beautiful you are, and show people that they don't have to be afraid. Help people see the world by you shining so brightly by your conscious choices. So when I hear this concept of dissolving ego and getting rid of your ego and all those things, to me, it's just denialism. You're denying your opportunity to create a loving world. You're looking for a pathway out as opposed to a creation space within. And it really comes down to you starting to make conscious choices. Your past is done. So even your conscious choices that you would make based upon your past experiences make no difference, because those past experiences are just things you can choose consciously to be a victim of or choose to overcome. And in this present moment, I can consciously say that part of my life is over and I am creating beautifully and joyfully from this point forward. But I am is God's name, and I am is a present moment declaration, and I am is self-awareness. And so I think the whole concept of dissolving your ego and getting rid of your ego is a very misguided path, because it takes you away from your responsibility of creating something beautiful, your idea of being able to be a creator. Whatever, you may ask mountains to move, it'll move. Nothing's impossible for you. But unless you're spending your entire life trying to get rid of that ability, I would just start enjoying the ability. Start creating joyfully. But to create joyfully, you have to be conscious. To be conscious, you have to be aware of self. And that's my thought on this whole ego concept. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya.